guys, it's Saturday and it's finally sunny. It's been kind of gross this week and I thought I would take the Jeep out. I've been doing lots of little things on it, and I thought in this video, since I'm wrapping this project up, fingers crossed I don't have anything crazy that happens with the engine. But there's some new things, and I'm also going to recap some old things that I've been doing, just so that you can have an idea of what I've been doing over the last 3 months. And if you've watched some of my videos, you know that it's been a lot of work on this, but I've loved every minute of it. You're going to notice the first thing is I have a new canvas top, which I had to save up for. There's a guy who makes his living, probably does other things, but he has a shop and he makes all of these canvas tops for vintage military vehicles. And this canvas it's really thick. When I got the box in the mail, I couldn't believe how heavy this was, but it's a really thick canvas, and it also smells. It's been, I'm guessing, soaked in oil or something for as a preservative or just to help with water. And it turned out really good. It only took me maybe 20 minutes to put on. Other than that, I've been working on some wiring and just greasing and things. So I'll kind of walk you through over the next few minutes the things that I've been doing. You know, when you're restoring a vehicle, it's really a good idea to kind of have a plan. And you know, my approach was to start originally with the engine. This truck wasn't running when I first bought it, and so the first thing I did was to really just focus all my attention on that. And so I realized that the starter was bad. So I replaced the starter and all of the hoses, and then I took off this intake. The original intake was a single, it was meant for a single barrel carburetor, so I put a civilian version intake manifold, which has 2 ports, and I put a 2-barrel carburetor, which I think has really helped in terms of just the overall performance. Next thing I did was I changed out the plug wires. The guy that had worked on this before had I don't know, they'd taken just regular plug wires, and this particular vehicle you really have to go back with the original shielded cables and then the shielded plug wires, or spark plugs, and that made a big difference just overall how it was running. And then of course drained all the fluids and then polished the valve cover. And the next thing I did was focus on the brakes, so I put new brake cylinders all around, or wheel cylinders, and I also turned the drums. Some of the drums were well, they weren't in great shape, so I took them over to Napa, and they helped me with that. I replaced a few of the brake lines, and then in the front I replaced some of the brake shoes. The next thing I did was I pulled the bed off so that I could get into really the frame, and then also to be able to paint underneath the bed. So that took, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 people to lift this bed off. And then I painted the bed, and then added the Pioneer kit, which, as you can see, has the axe and the pickaxe. And Trey Conklin donated the water can, which was from his grandfather. And then I added all of the stencils, more Pioneer equipment over here with the shovel. And then I started working on the inside. Painted everything inside. Painted the seat frames, and then wrapped the seat frames in some waterproof canvas. Added some of the stencils. Added a boot over the shifter. And honestly, a lot of it was just painting. I was able to locate a guy in Texas that has 24 different paint grades. I mean, they're military colors, and I didn't realize there were that many of them. But anyway, his business is in selling gallons and quarts and aerosol cans in a variety of different colors. And along the way, adding the original stencils along with the bridge plate. Also added this blackout light, which I think is really cool. And then the antenna back over here. So those of you that have seen the gladiators that are out there, this is the great grandfather. This is where that all started. That whole look started here. And I've just had so much fun working on this. And I appreciate all you guys that have made comments and shared interest, because you know, for me, this is like a piece of artwork. I love the design of it, and in a small way, it's kind of my way of showing some patriotism. Both my grandfathers served in World War II. One was my grandfather Diefenbach was in the Pacific on the USS Rollins, and then my grandfather Williams was a lieutenant colonel in the Army serving North Africa and Italy and France. And so I thought a lot about them and service members, but I also really just enjoyed having something that I could do after work to kind of wind down. We probably all have things in our lives that we do that allow us to blow off steam, and for me this truck was that. So anyway, I'll give you one more kind of quick walk around. You know, I think the other thing I really liked about working on this truck was everything was very logical. I mean, it was designed, everything had a meaning or a purpose to it, and it just made it a lot easier to work on. Nothing too terribly complicated about this truck. I mean, it's not like I'm a great mechanic or anything. I think any one of you guys could probably figure out a lot of the stuff I've done. So anyway, I'll continue to post some other videos, but this is probably one of the last videos I'll post on this truck. And thanks you guys again for just sharing your interest and supporting me, and I'll catch you guys down the road.